Hi everyone, it's Jaymie here. I'm a soulful intuitive coach and healer and a spiritual nonconformist. Today I'm kicking off a 7-day jam session of life designing for nonconformists, where today for day one I'm going to be talking about your calling as a nonconformist, why you're here and what you're meant to do. This is something that I'm super passionate about, because I feel like we live in this abundant world and there are just so many resources that are available to us now, right? And collectively, we are tapping into this spiritual awareness, and there are so many amazing coaches and healers and resources. You can go on YouTube and Pinterest, and there are blogs and Facebook Lives like these and groups that are sharing so many amazing, mind-blowing, soul-shifting insights, right? And it's easy to get wowed by them because they're amazing. But at the end of the day, what's really important to really ask yourself is how much this information actually applies to me. So for example, I'm 5'2¼ and I'm very petite. My biz bestie Layla, she's 5'8", and she is a gorgeous, curvier woman than I am. You know, her boobs are huge compared to mine. Like, I'm very miniature size. So a dress that looks absolutely amazing on her isn't gonna look great on me. It's gonna look like I'm playing dress up. And there's nothing wrong with the dress, but it's just, it's not meant for me. It's not gonna apply to me. You get what I'm saying? And so much in the same way, it's so important as a nonconformist to really evaluate how much the information you're getting is actually meant for you. And it's so easy to get distracted. And one of the ways that I've found to be really immensely valuable in recentering yourself is to get clear and realizing why you're here, what you're meant to do. And that way you can determine, does this apply to me or not? It doesn't matter how great a resource is if it doesn't pertain to you. And that's gonna save you guys so much time and energy, you guys. And it's something that I think we forget, because as a nonconformist, we live in this muggle's world, which is more 9 to 5, and there's a lot of, picking one thing that's your niche and really focusing on that. Whereas nonconformists are wildly different. You're here with a different purpose. You're meant to disrupt and shake the system up. So oftentimes, when there's a change that arises, there's sort of this resistance around it. And so you may have developed some belief system that says, you know what, like, I have habits and discipline that isn't beneficial to me. And you're told, you have to stay focused, you have to do A, B, and C, a lot of things that don't pertain to you. And yet you witness so many people that are successful by following a system that you're not receptive to. So you're like, you know what, let me invest in myself and hire a coach or a healer to really keep me focused and grounded. Now, it is absolutely amazing for you to invest in yourself. I do it all the time. And I'm grateful to say that I've loved every coach and healer that I've worked with. And that's something that's really rare to say for someone who is invested as much as I have. Oftentimes people have regrets, right? But I do have to say that the areas where I didn't get the most that I could have gotten out of it is when I didn't trust myself, when I didn't listen to myself, because I think there's this habit of, this works for someone and they have the life that I want, so let me learn from them, rather than checking in with, does this resonate with me, or does it even apply to me? Does that process even look fun? It's so important for us to remember that we've been given all of the tools that we need to succeed. So it's not that we have to change, we have to actually embody more of who we are in order for us to succeed, in order for you to succeed in the way that you're meant to. As a nonconformist, you're meant to be wildly different. And you are meant to make money doing what you love. Doing what you love is what actually generates money. And you don't have to pick and choose. You don't have to sacrifice. It's really about finding what's most aligned to you. And here's the thing. There's always going to be someone that tells you that something's a terrible idea. And there may be even some seemingly logical, valid information that that justifies what someone is saying. It may look like it's a recipe for disaster. But if you look hard enough, if you become a better observer, you're also going to find contrasting information, because we live in a contrasting world that tells you, you know what, someone else is doing what you absolutely love and they're wildly successful beyond their anything that they thought was possible. Or other people who are successful using the puzzle pieces of what you're interested in. There are signs all around you. So it's not about what's worked for other people. It's about what works for you, what aligns to you. And as a nonconformist, because you're meant to do things differently, oftentimes the reason why things don't work is that you are trying to force yourself into a system that doesn't work. Instead of doing that, instead of focusing on the information that you may be hearing that says you're not meant to do this, tune into why you want to do it. Train yourself to recognize the solutions, to identify and create why the things you want to do is going to work and how you can make it work. This is so absolutely vital, and I promise you the information is there. You just have to train yourself to open yourself up to it. As a nonconformist in a muggle's world, muggles, like, you know, people who live 9 to 5, who are a little bit more in like the normal category, oftentimes what happens is, you know, there's a psychology of why these things work for muggles, and you have to understand why they work for them, why it doesn't work for you, and why what's going to work for you, why something is going to work with you, by understanding your psychology, your desires, your tendency, which means that you have to stop rejecting the things that you love. You have to be open to it. You have to understand it. Your passion is a compass. It is literally a map that you can use to strategize to make money. This is so absolutely huge. Reality is pliable. Amanda Francis is a money coach, and she's a millionaire, and she has less than I think 11,000 email subscribers. So it's so different from what a lot of business strategists say, which is that with your email subscribers, the less than 5% of people invest in you. That's just not true for her, and it doesn't have to be true for other people. You know, our beliefs create our reality, and so you really have to discipline yourself. You have to develop that resilience, that strength, and really understanding why you want to do the things that you want to do. Really get that connection, that drive, right? And oftentimes that shows up when you start to become open. And this is just, I cannot tell you how incredibly important that is. You have to make your voice and your desires stronger and louder. You have to understand why something, you have to basically build your own puzzle pieces and create your own map. And it's really about training yourself to be open. This is just so huge, because as a nonconformist, the things that you want to do are so wildly different, and there are things that most people don't do because most people see it as a bad idea. And the reason why you came into this world is to show people what's possible, to show people that you can do the things that to do the things that's considered impossible, right? So there's going to be less examples of it working until you show up and you do it. You are meant to activate other nonconformists and inspire them through your actions. And so if you've been trying things and things haven't been working, you know, it's actually the opposite of what you think. It's not that you have to be more disciplined or you have to be more like the successful people. You have to stop neglecting who you are, and you need to embody more of who you are. You have to start experimenting, because nonconformists are serial experimenters. And that means just constantly dishing things out, constantly trying and really playing with things. And this requires so much resilience and strength that's already inside of you. I know I said so much, and it is a lot, but it's not something that's it's actually so much easier than you realize, because we have been given all the tools that we need to succeed. And so it's really working with the things that you already have. And the reason why it's so important to have this trust and this resilience is that other people don't understand why it's going to work until you start doing it. And even then, a lot of people may not understand the ins and outs. So you need to develop that trust for yourself to see it through. This is so important. I mean, each of us have a unique success compass, right? But the more of a nonconformist that you are, the more unique your success compass is, and the more you are really going to have to craft it. And a great map that I've found for nonconformists is really, honestly, the things that other people are doing are less likely to work for you. So the thing that seems the more ludicrous, the more likely that's going to work for you. And the thing is, experiment with it. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not going to work. But the thing is, your soul craves the variety. You get bored easily. Your soul craves to express itself. So if you dish out a lot of stuff that just totally flop, it literally will excite your soul, and you're going to, that's how you literally will extract the things that you need to do. But it's not going to happen without you giving yourself permission to do what excites you, to do what makes you feel amazing. It's not even about the end process for a nonconformist. It's really truly about the journey and giving yourself that permission, because that's how you reach the destination that you absolutely truly desire. And if any of you nonconformists are on, I apologize, I'm on my phone, so if you're leaving any comments, I'm not able to see it. But I'm gonna jump on later, I'm gonna answer any questions, or if you're watching the replay, feel free to express some areas that you feel you're getting some, push-up resistance against, and I'd love to give you some insights. And to really kind of open you up to the resources that are really available to you. And if this is something that you're interested in, I do have a program coming up. It's called, just like this jam session, Life Designing for Nonconformists. It's a 3-month group program. We get on weekly calls, and what's going to happen is we're going to be discussing the mindset of what works for most people, the muggles, and why it doesn't work for you, getting clear, personalized insights on what's actually going to work for you because of who you are, what your habits, your tendencies, your psychology is, and some of the things you're going to push up against, and the solutions, ways that you can move through it, things that you can do to transmute it, which is essentially reinventing the energy that is there. It's leveraging what's there to your greatest asset. It's just such a fun and innovative way to work with yourself rather than against yourself. And I personally really love it because it really lets you realize the person that you're meant to be is already inside of you, and you just have to dissolve the parts of you that isn't there. So those are the things that we're going to be working on: journal prompts, insights, getting clear on what your success compass is, what your goals are in your life, what has worked, what hasn't worked, getting that clarity and really customizing it to what's going to work for you, and understanding, okay, some of the things that you have done, the puzzle pieces, why they've worked, why they haven't worked, to really get clear about what it is that you need, what it is that you desire, and to really tap into what do you love to do absolutely, and how you can really enhance that in your life to really get the things that you want. I absolutely love doing this in a group setting where you have that collective support. So this is a 3-month program, and for this service it is $1,500. It's one payment of $1,500 or 3 payments of $500. Now, if you'd like an upgraded version, which is the VIP, you'll get the 3-month group coaching, and additionally you'll get one-on-one 12 sessions with me as well for 60 minutes each. And so for that upgrade, that will be either one payment of $3,000 or three payments of $1,000. And I have an early bonus special for all of you guys. If you guys sign up by March 16th for the group program, you'll receive a 60-minute session with me where we put together your success compass. It's completely customized to what your goals are, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and I'll send you a customized profile with all of this information so that you can literally use this as like a landscape, a blueprint, your compass, and it's just absolutely for you, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And for the VIP upgraded one, your early bonus special is 3 additional 60-minute calls, and we're also going to do the Success Compass where I specifically send you a blueprint, and we can modify it over time, we can make any tweaks, we can adjust it with the additional 60-minute sessions that I have for you. And these sessions, the one-on-ones, are to be used within 6 months. So this program is going to start on March 19th. And the early bird special is until March 16th. And so you would have to use the one-on-one sessions by, I want to say September, is that right? April, May, June, July, August, September. April, May, June, July, August, September. So yes, so within 6 months. Let's see what else. Oh, and whether you sign up for the group program or the one-on-one, you're going to receive 3 harmonizing energy healing sessions from me. And you get to choose whatever you want it to be around. I personally really love to focus on mind, body, and soul because all of it is interconnected. So if there are, for example, some mindset blocks that you want to move through, some of the physical symptoms that are showing up, and clearing your spiritual journey or connecting more to that, I'd love to offer you that session. And as far as other types of harmonizing energy, I tend to work really well with women who have chronic health imbalances centered around sexual abuse and any sacral chakra imbalances. So that is what I have for you guys. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'd love to answer them. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and leave a comment. All right? Thanks for watching, you guys. And I will see you all tomorrow for day 2. Bye.